After spending basically the entire summer looking at apartments, I finally picked one. I looked at apartments in the Seaport District, in Back Bay, in the North End, in Cambridge, and I looked at a bigger apartment in the building that I currently live in. And if you watched last week's video, you probably think that you know which apartment that I picked. Or maybe you're hoping for one over the other. But the truth is, I picked one that kind of surprised me. I signed a lease on a completely different apartment than the one that I thought that I was going to pick. In fact, I signed it pretty quickly. I saw the apartment online, went to look at it, and signed the papers all within less than 12 hours. So today, after looking at apartments all summer, I'm finally going to tell you which one that I picked, tell you why I chose that apartment, and then we're going to take a look at the apartment and start thinking about where we're going to put stuff when I move, which is coming up very quickly. There's just one slight little complication. I don't actually have access to the apartment yet, and I couldn't go look at the specific one that I signed the lease for. But we do have a video of it, so I'm going to show you the walkthrough video, and I'm going to explain exactly why I picked this apartment, and then we're going to talk about moving, which, like I said, is going to happen pretty quickly, but it's still about a month away at this point. I started looking at apartments this summer mostly because I wanted to see what was out there. And I think I went into this process believing that if I moved, there would be one apartment that was obviously better than everything else, but that didn't actually happen. There were apartments that I loved because of the neighborhood, and there were some that were bigger and had better layouts, and there were some that had better amenities and more space. There were some that were in amazing parts of town that had gorgeous crown molding and beautiful hardwood floors. And then there were these beautiful luxury buildings that were brand new and had everything that you could possibly imagine. Every apartment made me think about what I really wanted. And eventually, I realized I wasn't really trying to find the best apartment. I was trying to figure out which apartment made the most sense for the life that I actually wanted to live, and to find the apartment that actually felt like home for me. So eventually I made my decision, and I am moving to the bigger apartment that is in the current building that I live in, and I am so excited. And I know some of you are probably surprised because this is not the apartment I ranked number one. Honestly, that's part of what surprised me too. When I ranked the apartments, I was thinking about which apartment I thought was objectively the best. The location, the apartments itself, the character, the amenities, the price, and the value. And when it came time to actually sign the lease and put thousands of dollars behind that decision, I started thinking about it very differently. There's a difference between your favorite apartment to tour and the apartment that you actually want to wake up in every morning. And this is the one that I chose. So there are a few reasons why I made this decision. Even though the apartment is bigger, it's also more expensive, which was a really difficult decision for me to make, especially if you watch all of my videos, you know. The first reason is that I absolutely love the building that I live in now. It is an absolutely gorgeous building. The staff is incredibly nice. It's very quiet. And it's in a great location, and I really couldn't ask for anything more. When I looked at all of the other apartments, yes, there are some that are closer to where I work, but just because I currently work in Woburn doesn't mean that I will always work there. So I really didn't want to make a decision based around where I currently work. I don't want to get stuck in that situation because that's what I did before when I lived in Weymouth. And it ended up being a long ways away from where I ended up working. I'm not super fond of Woburn. It's a nice enough town, but it's not somewhere that I want to build my life. I would much rather live in downtown, and I really love living downtown. It's been really nice. It's so nice to be so close to everything that's downtown, getting to explore all the restaurants and the shops and the waterfront. And if you watch my channel, you know that I love the ocean. And so the second reason that I picked this apartment was really the selling point for me. As soon as I walked into the model apartment and I saw the view, I mean, it was everything. And The model apartment is on the 22nd floor, which is quite a bit lower in the building than where my new apartment will be, and it's set back farther from the harbor than my new apartment will be. So that just means that the view in my apartment will be way better than the view from the model apartment, and even that view was amazing. I could see myself sitting there every single day, staring at the harbor, watching the planes come into the airport and watching the ships come in, and I'm so excited. I can't wait. I feel like that's going to be better than watching TV. I think I could do that all day, every single day, and not get tired or bored of it at all. I mean, I think the biggest thing is that I could really picture my life there. I really love the apartment that I'm in now, and the only thing that I don't like about it is that it's really small. So having even just 150 more square feet, I feel like is going to be huge. And as soon as I walked into the apartment, I started thinking about cooking dinner in that amazing kitchen. And I could already see where my chair, maybe a future couch is going to go, where I could put my TV so that I could still see out the harbor even if the TV is on. And I'm already thinking about where I'm going to set up all of my bookshelves and this bookshelf that's here behind me now. I'm already thinking about where my sewing machine is going to go, and everything's probably going to be right in front of the windows, to be honest. It's my favorite view in the whole entire world. I just can't get over it. Okay, so let's actually do a walkthrough. So when you first come into the apartment, there's this long hallway. It has this little space over by the door, which I have in my current apartment that I really like. And then you come into the kitchen, which is massive compared to the kitchen that I have now. And we're walking into the living room now, and this is the view. Are you kidding me? That view is incredible. The living room, it doesn't really look that big on the video, but when I saw it in person, it looks a lot bigger. I love the kitchen. I love the island. And there's plenty of space here for my ice maker and my water pitcher and maybe even my KitchenAid as well. There's tons of storage space, which will be good. I love the oven. You guys know I love to cook and I love to bake, so that will be amazing. And then there's a whole bedroom. I don't have a bedroom in my current apartment, so this is a whole new thing for me. I'm so excited. I'm even thinking about possibly making this just a sewing room. I don't know. It has a killer view. I absolutely love the view. And again, it doesn't look that big in the video, but when you see it in person, I think that there was a queen size bed, maybe even a king size bed in there. And the closet looks the same as the one that I have now, but it's actually a little bit deeper, so you can walk in there and there's more space, which is nice. The bathroom is huge compared to the bathroom that I have now. It's probably twice the size. And there's built-in storage, which is nice. And there's plenty of extra space for more shelves, which we can always use more storage. And then when you come back out to the hallway, this is where the washer and dryer is, and there's a massive closet there. So that will be fantastic. I am so looking forward to having all that extra space. I think half of the extra 150 square feet for this apartment is in that closet. Yeah, I absolutely love everything about this apartment. I mean, this view, like, are you kidding me? And I know we looked at a lot of apartments and I complained about the windows not being floor to ceiling. So the windows in this place are practically floor to ceiling. And I feel like if you're going to have an apartment in a high-rise building, then the windows should be massive, right? You should get tons of natural light and you should have a gorgeous view. So this apartment has all those things, which I'm super excited about. I don't think that I saw a better apartment than this one. Maybe some cheaper apartments and maybe some that were a little bit more practical, but honestly, this for me is kind of the dream. And since I can afford it and I have the opportunity right now, I feel like now's the time to do it. So now we need to talk about the obvious question. Why didn't I pick the number one apartment in my previous video, or 2 videos ago now, I guess? the apartment in Back Bay that I called the #1 video. Why didn't I pick that one? And honestly, I still think that it was the best apartment that I toured. It was the most practical, it had the most space, it had all of the character, it was everything that I thought that I wanted living in an apartment in downtown Boston. I loved the hardwood floors, and I loved the rounded window in the living room, and I really do love that area. I end up spending quite a bit of time over there simply because of the Prudential Center and the Copley Place Mall, and then Newbury Street as well, which is absolutely fantastic. But once I started thinking about actually living there, there were a few compromises that I really wasn't willing to make. One of them is that there's not parking that's attached to it, and that ends up being a huge thing because not every day is 80 degrees and sunny here in Boston. There are a lot of days that are 30 degrees where there is 2 or 3 feet of snow on the ground. And here, once it starts snowing in the wintertime, the snow doesn't generally melt. So if you get a foot of snow and then you get 6 inches of snow and then you get 10 inches of snow and then you get another 2 feet of snow, it just starts to pile up on the sidewalk. It can be as tall as people are sometimes. It doesn't go away until it starts getting warm outside. And sometimes the snow isn't fully melted until like May or June. So do I want to be carting my groceries 3 or 4 blocks or 6 blocks down the street in that kind of weather? And that's not just snowy days. That's when there are torrential downpours, when it's 100 degrees outside. It's, you know, whatever the weather is, that's what you're doing. And the answer is no, I really don't. One of my favorite things about the apartment that I live in now is that the garage is attached, and my car gets to live in a garage, which is nice because I feel like having a newer car, it's not brand new anymore, it's almost 3 years old. I feel like that keeps it a little bit nicer than having it be outside. For the majority of my life, just for the record, I grew up pretty lower middle class, and that's probably even saying it nicely. I grew up lower middle class in the Midwest, where we lived way out in the country. So for the majority of my life, my cars have lived outside, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're built for that. It's totally fine. But now I have the opportunity for my car to live in a garage, and I like that. I would much rather not have to dig my car out of a foot of snow or 3 feet of snow. I've done that before. And it's not fun. I would also much rather not have my car get hail damage, which is less likely here, much, much, much less likely here than it is in the Midwest. But I just don't want to have to worry about having those issues. I've also lived in places where I've had to park on the street before. In fact, one car that I had got attacked with a hammer at like midnight in the middle of the night for no reason. And there were no cameras, and the police couldn't figure out what happened, and that was that. I had to pay to replace the windshield. So I would rather that not happen, especially since I drive a Tesla, and some people are not really interested in that. My car has been vandalized before simply because it was a Tesla, and, you know, it's not fun. So the fact that I can rent an apartment that has a parking garage attached to it is fantastic. I love that. The other reason that I didn't pick that apartment is because of its location. It's not that far from 93, but in order to get over there, you have to go down Storrow Drive. And that is an incredibly busy road, and it is famous in Boston because it has very low bridges, and there are a lot of trucks that get stuck under those bridges. And it causes massive problems with traffic because the trucks cause a huge problem every time one of them gets stuck. And even if they don't get stuck and get damaged, they still have to back up the length of the road, which is a long ways. And it's a common problem. It happens frequently, especially this time of year, late August, early September. It gets to be a massive problem. So I did not want to add another 20 to 30 minutes or possibly 45 minutes to an hour to my commute if I didn't have to. And really, it's not saving that much money. And in a place where traffic is a constant battle, that is a terrible problem every single day, That's a huge thing. So I'm sure your next question is, what happens now? Well, for the next 4 to 6 videos, I'm not really sure exactly how many, but I have a lot of stuff, and we're gonna have to pack all the stuff and probably downsize some more, because even though I'm moving into a bigger apartment, there's still a lot of stuff that I can get rid of. I'm sure we can all agree on that. So I'm going to do a couple of videos, probably at least a couple, of cleaning and getting rid of some things, definitely sorting out some things, seeing if there's anything else that I can sell, and just try to downsize. I have some ideas about moving, since I'm just moving from one floor to, you know, multiple floors up. It's really just an elevator ride, so do I really need to get a whole bunch of boxes, or is there something else that I can do that might be a little bit cheaper and more efficient? I don't know, but I have some ideas, so we'll see. Also, another good thing is, before I sign the lease, I asked them, how is the whole moving thing gonna work, because my lease doesn't end until the end of September, and I can't pay for 2 leases at the same time. And they said, no, the new apartment is available earlier in September, so we'll just end your lease the day before the new one starts, so you're not paying any overlap, but we'll give you 2 days to move. So that's fantastic. In the past, even though the last time it took me 2 days to move, every other time I've moved, which has been too many, I've always had to move in 1 day. So this will be really nice, and I don't have to rent a truck, so that will be nice, and hopefully we can save money on all the other moving expenses. There's a whole lot that I mean, it is more expensive, but I also saved quite a bit of money by not having to move, by not having to do all the, you know, the rent the truck and the boxes and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, so I have 2 days to move, which is good. Hopefully it'll go really well. I'm also going to do a video about planning on where everything is going to go in my apartment. I'm trying to visualize where things are going to go, and I think it helps to see things in the apartment. And I don't know if I can do like some sort of 3D software or AI pictures or something. I don't know. I'm going to try to figure out something, at least draw sort of an outline and kind of measure things out, because I have sort of rough measurements of it. So that'll be fun too. Especially, I have a lot of bookshelves, obviously, and they're all gonna fit because they all fit in here. It's just trying to figure out where they're gonna look the best. I like to have a plan going into moving, because I don't want to have to move around the furniture a bunch of times. And I don't know if I'm gonna have somebody help me move. I think that I might. So I want to know exactly where things are gonna go, and try to have, if I have somebody help me, have them move all the heavy stuff. And I want to know where it's going to go, rather than just show up and not have a plan. So it'll be good to have a plan. And then obviously there'll be videos about moving and cleaning and setting up all the new place. So I have lots of plans for the next couple of months. So of course I'm going to bring you with me for this whole process. So make sure that you are subscribed to my channel if you're not already, and like this video, because that helps me out a lot. It helps my channel grow. YouTube looks at all that kind of stuff. If you want to see more videos, an extra video every single week, make sure that you check out the Inner Circle membership. That helps me to be able to make a lot more videos as well. I really want to say I truly appreciate you guys watching. It means the world to me. I absolutely love making videos, and I know that it kind of seems like my life is a mess at times. It kind of feels like that too, but believe it or not, it's way better than what it used to be. So slowly but surely it is getting sorted out and getting organized, and I'm feeling a lot better. I was actually talking to one of my friends recently, and he asked me why I quit working out, because I used to work out like 2 hours a day. And I ran 5Ks and I ran at 10K, and I had like a road bike, and I was into like swimming and cycling and running. And he asked me why I stopped. I had to think about it for a while, and I was like, well, I mean, the real answer is that my life has been chaos for a while. And I got laid off from a job, and my life was kind of chaos before that, and then that obviously created a lot of chaos, and it took a while for me to get settled again. And now that I've been in Boston for over 8 years now, which is kind of crazy to think about, I finally feel like I have a home and I have some stability in my life, and I feel like I'm going in the right direction, and things are working out. And I want to like knock on wood, because I feel like every time I get too comfortable, something happens. So I'm trying to be positive and to look at the good side of things, and I really hope that this works out the way that I think that it will. So once we get past all the moving and the getting resettled and everything, I'm gonna make some more videos about going around Boston and, you know, exploring the city and getting outside and walking. I'm gonna start setting some bigger goals about health and wellness, and yeah, just exploring the city and doing some more things that are outside. I tend to spend a lot of time inside of my apartment, so I want to get out and do some more things. So anyway, thank you again for watching. I really appreciate it. And let me know in the comments what you think about my apartment decision, because I'm anxious to hear what you guys think. I do read the comments, and I appreciate every single comment, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I appreciate all of them. So again, thank you for watching. I will see you again next week.